20,000 subscribers. My mind is blown away, and it continues to grow. When I got to 20,000 subscribers on this channel, I was planning on doing a live stream, and two things happened. It happened faster than I imagined, and I just, as much as I love live streaming, wrote a book about it, I couldn't do it. It's just the timing, so I thought, okay, but I do want to do a video. And by the way, if we haven't met, my name is Kevin Colby, and I'm so glad you are here. But I want to share about, I think I wrote down 7 things that I've discovered over going from 0 subscribers to where I am now, 20,000, and continuing to grow. Just subscribers. We're not even talking about views. And I hope these help you, especially if you're over 40 and you're still just thinking about starting YouTube, or maybe you've started and you don't feel like it's really doing much. I really hope these will help you. First up, growth is typically slow. It is so easy to look at other channels and other creators and maybe see them popping off, growing, you know, they're racking up. Maybe they don't even have that many videos, and they're just doing gangbusters and going, wow, why am I not growing? That's a very typical thing. But the reality of it is, it takes time. It takes time. My channel started in January of 2017, and I started with 0 subscribers. Ironically, it was March of that year when my position, I was a creative director at a Fox station, and it was eliminated. So it took me a while to finally let, you know, God take control and realize that the next chapter of my life was being a solo content creator and eventually YouTube. But over time, it took quite a while to grow. I want to jump ahead in my timeline to kind of get us into the second point. But before I do that, I just want to remind you, if you're growing, that's good. Growth can take time, it can jump, but typically it just takes time. The second thing is being open to mentoring and coaching. There's a lot of coaches out there. I coach. I do one-on-one coaching and consulting. If you're ever interested in that, you can find out more either down below or on my website. There are a lot of coaches out there that are good, and there's a lot that, quite honestly, I just don't trust their information. But mentors are good as well, and I've been very blessed with several mentors. In 2020, and it was in April, and I can't remember the exact date, my channel was sitting at about 411 subscribers. So think about this. 2017, I start the channel with 0. Jump ahead to 2020, and I'm at around 411 videos because I was just posting everything. I was, you know, here's a video I did for a client. Here's a vlog about buying coffee, and here's here how to use QuickTime. So it was kind of all over the place. My channel got audited, and I've kind of mentioned this, and people said, "What does that mean?" It was during Video Marketing World. It was a virtual conference. And I got a message from Scott Simpson. He's the CEO. He's also a friend. It said, hey, we're going to audit your channel during the conference if you want. And it turned out it was Rob Wilson and Travis, I don't remember his last name, from vidIQ. And when they audited, what that means is they just kind of went through the channel, not the analytics, just looking at the channel from an outsider looking in. They didn't know me or the channel. And I remember them saying, well, you know, you look nice, but we have no idea what your channel's about. Now think about that. As somebody coming to my channel, just looking at it from the outside in, we had no idea what you're about. That was information that it was hard to hear, but it was great to hear. Because from that point on, I thought, you know what? I love YouTube. I love learning on it and producing for it. And I need to take this serious. And that was in 2020. And so that's why I'm saying me being open to, because at first I thought, no, heck no, I don't want to have my channel audited and embarrassed in front of everybody. But it was the best thing, guys, best thing I ever did, because it got me really serious about YouTube and thinking, okay, if I'm going to do this and help people and grow the channel and make money and all those other things, you know, I can do it as a hobby, but I wanted to do it more as a business, as part of my business. And that's when I really got serious about it. And I think it was later that year, or actually it wasn't too long later, I did a video called How to Get Final Cut Pro for Free, because I had switched to Final Cut Pro and people were asking, and I saw a lot of people looking for it. Still to this day, it is my biggest video ever because people were looking for it and it answered a question. So that's a case of it really, really helping me. Another one is adapt as needed. And what I mean by this is, you can go into YouTube thinking, I'm only going to do this, and then realize, well, I don't know, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to change how I'm doing. Maybe it's a lifestyle thing. Because at one point, I was thought, I'm going to upload 3 times a week. I don't know what I was thinking. 3 times a week. So I did like 2 produced videos and a live stream. And again, I love doing this. I could not maintain that schedule for a couple of reasons. One, and I've talked about this, our youngest son has special needs. He is our priority. And so there were times where it's like, yeah, there's no way. There's just no way. Where I'd have to cancel a live stream or something like that. Plus, just trying to come up with that many ideas to keep it going. Again, I'm a solo content creator. I shoot my stuff, I edit my stuff, I do my thumbnails, I do my uploading, I do the optimization, I do all of that. Like I imagine a lot of you guys do too. I couldn't maintain it. So I thought, okay, what do I need to adapt to? Well, I need to just change to I'm gonna try to publish once a week. And that really got me into a rhythm. Now occasionally I drop 2 videos and things like that, but it was the ability to adapt to things I'd learned, to how I was producing, that really helped. Another one is play with different formats and the styles of video. YouTube gives you so many ways of producing video. You can do what's now called longs, but it's what I call produced videos. This is a produced video since I'm not doing it live. But it could be anything over a minute to as long as it's going to be. You can do shorts. Now, here's my little disclaimer about shorts. I don't personally like the vertical format. I just don't. I've done shorts. I don't do them anymore. Will I ever do them again? I don't know. I even took them off my channel once and put them back on. I didn't delete them. I'm so against deleting. But they also offer live streaming. Podcasting has come in. And that wasn't a thing until last year. There's community posts. And then you've got other types of things as well under there. I guess that's really it though. You've got, because even under live, you can do live shopping, but that's still live. So if you think about all the different types of formats, but then you've got different styles of video. You can do vlog. You can do talking head. You can do faceless. And I've seen people ask about doing that because they're afraid of being on camera. My recommendation is do it only if your subject matter really demands it and you're absolutely positively just freaking out when you go on camera. I can think of like if you're doing a drawing channel and you want to just focus on the drawing, do that. Or baking. I know of some baking channels that just focus on, it's like what's called a top-down shot where you're just shooting down and you just show that. Most of them have voiceover, some just music and stuff. They're not easier to produce, but it's a type of video. We talked about vlogging, talking head. Video podcasting is one, which I wrote a book on. Live streaming, which I also wrote a book on. These are all different types of videos and shorts and like that. There's a friend of mine, he goes by Gigmaster, Steve Andrews, and he does daily videos, but he kind of considers his channel a reality channel. You could probably look at it and see a little bit more vlog, but the point is that just don't get locked into a format. You may say, well, Kevin, there's no way I'm ever going to live stream. And then you try it one day and think, ooh, I kind of like live streaming. In fact, dang, I'm pretty good at it. Being open to playing with the formats there, that's huge. Even the community tab. And I'll be honest, I don't use the community tab probably as much as I should. And I'm trying to change that because I think it's just a way to show up. So be willing to play with the different formats and just see what works for you. And another one is don't give in to what you don't want to do. So there was a point in time where, like, I edit on Final Cut Pro. Love Final Cut Pro. So I was doing some Final Cut Pro videos. I remember I mentioned my biggest video is about Final Cut Pro. And I'm very proud of those videos and they helped. But there was a point where somebody told me, well, YouTube thinks you're a Final Cut Pro channel. So you really need to lean into that and just do that. And I thought, but I don't want to be just a Final Cut Pro channel. I didn't want to just limit myself to that. Now, I've got a couple of friends like the Final Cut Bro, fantastic channel. You ought to check it out. And that's just what he does. And it works for him. And so that's why I would do other things about, maybe editing or kind of branch out into it or start talking about YouTube a lot as well. But there's also, you get the friendly advice, friendly advice of you need to do this or this. And sometimes it's folks that don't have channels, have never created, and they're just wanting you to do something. There's a book called Primal Branding. Full disclosure, I've tried to read it 2 or 3 times. I can't get through it. But from what I understand, it's about kind of like building your tribe and knowing as much of what you're for and what you're against can also relate to your audience. So I get a lot of suggestions and ideas via email, comments on the videos. And sometimes it's just, or things I should do. And I read it all, but I take it with a grain of salt. So I'm just saying that as you go and grow, you're going to get a lot of advice and you're going to get a lot of temptations to do a certain thing, even in the YouTube algorithm or in your studio when you're looking in there. I don't look at my YouTube studio analytics probably like you should. I'm comfortable with how much I'm in there. And because you can get overwhelmed with it. And then you can start looking at that going, well, I've got to start making this type of content. And I kind of resist. It's probably that independent solo part of me. I kind of resist YouTube wanting me to do a certain type when I want to do this. I want to talk to a certain community, a certain type person, whatever. And it just goes where it goes. And yeah, sometimes I just create a video because I want to create a video. Another one is ignore the noise. Sometimes I've just put a video out because I want to get one out of my system. I just want to create something and put it out there. I don't have any crazy expectations of it at all. You can get a lot of feedback on that you don't want. But part of the noise is, it's a little bit of several things. It's also the people that love just to drop in the comments and just, give you unsolicited advice that's not very helpful, if you know what I mean. And it's coming. If you haven't, hopefully it won't be much. Or they just, they want to criticize everything. I've seen videos. I've already seen comments about, starting a YouTube channel if you're over 40, and the comments are extremely negative, almost like, whatever. It maybe didn't work for that person. And so therefore they're wanting everybody to know that they're just wasting their time. It's hard sometimes, and maybe I should do a whole nother video on just trying to kind of get past that. But at some point you have to kind of ignore that type of noise. When you read those comments, sure, sometimes maybe they sting, but I don't, God defines me. You don't. I don't let other people define me because God has defined me. So I would say that to you, get to that point where don't let other people define you. And then there's just a lot of other noise out there too. Social media, and even on YouTube, you get there and you're just bombarded with all these videos. So at some point you kind of ignore that, get in your zone, and just create. And don't be afraid to pivot or even refocus your channel. That's what I've done on this. I have a lot of people going, wow, you're doing great, way to pivot. I don't really feel like I pivoted. Pivot to me is like, example, you're doing a gardening channel. You talk about gardening, and all of a sudden you're talking about photography. That's a pivot. That's a big pivot. You can do small pivots within there. Maybe you're talking about, editing, and then you kind of get into animation. Maybe those two go together. I refocused. I made the concerted effort after a lot of thinking, a lot of research, and praying that I wanted to talk more to the over 40, over 50 community. Those of you that are like me, that were older, not old, were older, and specifically those still about people that want to begin, or maybe you've been going and you're kind of stuck. Was it a big risk? I don't know. What I'm giddy about is that I after I did some research, I knew there was a community there. I knew there were a lot of people 40, 45, 50 plus on YouTube specifically. And I thought, you know what? I want to be a part of that community. I want to talk to people like that, like me. And if young people come along, you sound so old. I know the young people come along. That is fantastic too. During your journey, you may want to pivot. You may want to refocus your channel. I would caution you about doing it too soon, because as you're starting out and growing, YouTube is still trying to figure out about your channel. And so they need more data to say, oh, somebody might be interested in this video and this video and this video, because YouTube is all about viewer satisfaction. So just be careful about trying to do that too quick. Look, I'm giddy. I'm giddy that my channel has continued to grow, and I'm even more excited when I see comments. I've never experienced the number of comments that I'm getting now. I try and read every comment. I'm really good at that, but they're becoming so much, it's hard to respond to every comment, and that drives me nuts. Because again, I'm a solo content creator. It's just me doing everything. I don't have a moderator, even when I was doing live streams. In fact, the only time I had a moderator is I did live streams for a while for StreamYard on StreamYard's channel. I did this co-hosted this show called Ask StreamYard. And we had a moderator because the comments were just going so fast. I don't know where you are on your journey at all. I mean, share below. And by the way, I love it when people say where they're from, like the country. Don't ever give your address, but the country. So keep doing that. But you know, you can keep asking questions and comment. I do read them. But wherever you are in your creative journey, give yourself grace and create. It can be hard. It can be slow at times, but it can be very rewarding. And for anybody watching this who says, I don't have anything to share with the world, I'm going to challenge you. There's at least somebody out there who needs you. Maybe you just haven't met them yet with a video.